to make it through tough times if we use what nature gave us. And we have this whole big thing called the mind-body connection, which if we had more time, I would explain the biology of all of that kind of stuff to do. But the bottom line is, anxiety is actually a survival strategy because it tells you you're in danger, and so you can run fast and get out of the way. But when anxiety gets too big because we're under so much stress, then the chemicals that come from anxiety take a toll on our cells and on our organs, and we have an inflammatory response, and the sort of hypothesis from that is that's why our immune system gets lowered from stress. You got that? But just as we have these things that can help us survive or can do us in if we're under stress too much, we also have built into us, as I said, this ability to be resilient. It turns out through the new field of positive psychology, which was not even there when I graduated from graduate school, we have found that positive thoughts, hopeful thoughts, not only balance out the effects of the negative thoughts on your body, they negate them. And hope is biological. When you have hope for a better day, or maybe a better hour, or a better minute, or a better week, you create beta endorphins, just like when you run. And those are natural opiate drugs that go through your body. They give you energy. They change your perceptions of situations. And you are more likely to engage in the behaviors that you wanted to have in the first place, which is why you had the hope. So I'm going to tell you that hope is the first step, I think, before we even change it's part of changing our thinking, but I've come to decide it's also important to have that to change our thinking, because we just had a big family wedding. My stepdaughter's 40, she got married, now she's going to have babies, it's very exciting. Everybody in the family's in the wedding. I'm walking down the street in Manitou, Colorado. Anybody here from Manitou Springs? Anybody from Colorado? I'm walking down with my 6- and 7-year-old little granddaughters. They're going to be in the wedding. They're going to wear fairy wings. I mean, what is better, you know? And we go into a store, and they find a fairy necklace, and they want the fairy necklace. And I was a little hesitant to buy them each one, because on the side of the box it said, if you make a wish to this fairy, your wish will come true. And I just thought, well, I don't know if I really want them to believe that, you know? So we're walking down the street, and I get them the necklaces, and they're going to wear them in the wedding. And the two of them are having, 6- and 7-year-olds are having a conversation about whether or not the dream really would come true. And one of them was a believer that in fact the dream would come true, and the other one was a skeptic. And so they're going on and on. Well, like, do you have to have the wish and the dream like at night? Is that when the fairy comes? What goes on? And I'm saying, girls, listen. Grandma just wanted to remind you that life is about setting goals and hard work, and fairies aren't going to cut it. And my 7-year-old granddaughter turns to me and says, Grandma, don't you get it? Fairies give us hope. Isn't that great? What a brilliant little girl, I thought. And so the reality is that we all need hope, but we create that hope by making a choice about how we think. We now have a lot of research into happiness. Well, I'll tell you a lot of the research. We have lots of research into happiness and positive psychology. What do you think is the #1 thing that makes people happy? Yes? What? No, but that's a good one. I like that one. Food. And this was very good tonight. What do you think makes you happy? What do you think makes you feel like you have a good life? Friends, smiling. Love. That's who said that? Do you know when you control for cancer and heart disease, love is the #1 predictor of longevity? And by love, they mean spirituality, not necessarily religion. They mean generativity, giving back. And the #1 thing, then, that people report for the greatest life satisfaction is to work in the welfare of others. And I think that in caregiving, all of this stuff gets distorted, because either caregiving is a horrible thing or it's a sacred honor. How about we just go down the middle? Sometimes it's okay, sometimes... I gotta tell you, when I empty a bottle of urine for my husband, I just don't consider it a sacred honor. Now, we both have a good sense of humor, and we make jokes, but it's just not a sacred honor. So what I think that has to happen for those of us that are caregivers is to know that if you look at the other research, which is about seeing what's right in this world with ourselves as well as with other people, and looking at our lives as with respect to what's right, not wrong, which is what the research into positive psychology says takes us to healthy living, then when you do that, you can sort of look at your life a different way and reframe it. And while we have these stressors, one of the things I think that we can see that is right about our lives is we are not alone. And you are not alone. And with this group, we're all together. And I love the idea that you choose to go out and bring more people in. And I want to see this group grow because it's by making the choice of coming together and forming this web of connectedness that we have better lives. And to a large extent, our loved ones have better lives. So my husband had his heart attack. He was right down the street here in Princeton Hospital. And so I was pretty upset. It was a long story. And I decided to park my car at the hospital, and the whole time he was in the hospital, walk every place I had to go in town, right? And I'll tell you what happened with that. Now that it's all over, I have a hard time remembering the stressful times, but I do remember the beauty of those winter days. You see? And so we can change our memories, and that's one of the ways that we make a choice about that, to go out.